I also had the chance to spend a year in Antarctica doing climate change research. And it was while I was in Antarctica that I decided I wanted to apply to become an astronaut. And then after that, after somehow being selected, I decided I wanted to be more in the space sector while I wait the possibility of a mission in the future, hopefully. So I then moved over back to the UK, working at the UK Space Agency in the exploration team.
That is such a cool history of events. Yeah, I'm particularly jealous of your time in Antarctica. What was that like?
It was an incredible experience. It just felt so special to be there because, there aren't that many people that actually get to go. I think back to when I went to the International Antarctic Centre when I was a kid. It's a really cool museum in Christchurch in New Zealand, and I have always been fascinated by Antarctica since then. And so I thought maybe one day I'll make a lot of money and I'll get to go on a cruise to Antarctica. Making the money hasn't happened, but I did get to go to Antarctica, and, actually, the first time that I got this email from the National Research Council about it, they sent it out to all employees asking who wants to go and spend a year there because they have permanent observatories there. I thought back to that museum and I thought, "Oh, that would be amazing." But I didn't think that they would accept somebody with my background. I was a material scientist, really applied sciences, whereas they were looking for somebody to do atmospheric physics and meteorology. I knew what meteorology was, didn't know a lot about atmospheric physics. So I actually thought, yeah, that they wouldn't accept me. So I ignored it. But then a year later, I got the same email again. I thought, "Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna reply and see if they'd accept an application from someone like me." They said, yeah, come and have a chat." Turned out that chat was an interview, and I was accepted to go and spend the year there. It was tough, definitely, because of the physical conditions. We got down to minus 104 degrees Celsius. I was working outside every day. That was wind chill, by the way. Without wind, it was minus 80, but that's still very cold. And also the fact that the sun didn't rise for 100 days during that time. So we were in constant darkness. We were stuck with this small crew for 9 months of the year, really had to fend for ourselves if anything went wrong because there was no way for anybody to come in or out. But the hardest part is actually the psychological challenge, which comes from all those physical factors put together, but it is the hardest thing to work through, making sure you keep up team morale and making sure that you get along with everybody and that you don't get too lonely missing home too much, and also that you don't get bored because yes, there was a lot of work to do, but there was also a lot of free time. It's not the kind of activities that you could do when you're in the normal world. So that means that you have a lot of time that you have to come up with ways of filling.
Yeah, I can't imagine you thinking, "Oh, I've got some free time. I'll go for a run here," and realize it's minus 80 outside. That's a bit limited.
Yeah, actually, some people do.
Oh,
Yeah, so some
really?
people have done some serious running in the middle of winter at Concordia Station. I don't think I'm up for that. It's just too cold, but there are some people that do in their free time go out for a run in minus 80 degrees and they just wear lots and lots of layers. During the summer season, we've had people do marathons outside, so not just on the treadmill, but actually outside around the base. So it's doable, but they're pretty impressive people that manage to do that.
Does the timing darkness coincide with the very low temperatures as well? Like you said, there was about, what did you say, about 80
It
days where there
does.
was no, wow, so it's freezing and just dark. That must be really tough.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the summer season where you have a lot more people on the base, you have up to 90-ish people. That goes from November to January. And then after that, it's everybody else leaves and you just have the winter over crew of about 13 people. And it starts to get colder. So the summer season, the average temperature is about minus 30. It actually feels quite nice. You can spend hours outside in those conditions as long as you're wearing the right kind of clothing. You can spend hours outside working. But during the winter, the average temperature is closer to minus 60, minus 70, and then you add wind chill to that. And so you really can't spend a lot of time outside. Like you have to because that's where you're working, but you can't spend more than if it's really cold, sort of 20 minutes outside before going into one of the shelters and warming up and then going out again.